Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, hello student. So, in the we are on to the model 6 transfer and transport. So, this is our fourth function element, and today we are going to talk about transport means and methods. Like in the previous lecture, I shared about importance of transfer stations and what are the factor which are attractive to get the transfer station, and also what are the different benefits and advantages of transfer station. Now, today we will talk about different transport means and different method. Also, we will talk about the location, that is also one of the very important to finalize the location which today I am going to talk. Okay. So, we will start with the different transport means. So, the first method is a motor vehicle. This is a well known transportation method by road transport. So, you see here the vehicles, the large size vehicles normally is using for transporting waste from the transfer stations to the disposal site or recycling facility by road. And few more also you can see here, different kind of dumpers also could be used, both could be possible. I think here also we can discuss about haul kind of containers could be used, or haul kind of vehicle also could be possible. The stationary kind of vehicles could be used for the transportation of the waste. Now, here because again has to be see that how best the waste could be unloaded from the vehicle for at disposal site or recycling facility. So, here is another vehicle. So, this is I do not think so is we can find it in the India, such kind of vehicle is a photo from USA, where the landfill site or recycling facility is very far, sometimes goes to be 100 kilometer, 200 kilometers, and most of this vehicle traveling by the highways, major highways, okay. And this vehicle never come to the inside the city, because such kind of big vehicle traveling inside city is very difficult. So, what are the important issues has to be discussed or has to be finalized before going for the road transport. So, the first consideration has to be satisfied, like waste must be transported at minimum cost, that is the important one. Because of that only we are planning for transfer station. If the cost is very high for hauling of waste from the transfer station to the disposal site, then there will not be any benefit of the having the transfer station. Next is the waste must be covered during the haul operation. This is also very important one, because a huge amount of waste is getting hauled off, maybe 20 tons or 25 tons or 30 tons of waste. So, obviously, it has to be covered properly, because this vehicle will also transport from the highways. So, obviously, there are a lot of residential areas also nearby possible, especially in India. Number of rural areas could be possible nearby the highways. So, vehicle must be designed for highway traffic. This is very important also. Your design has to be possible for traffic, for highway traffic, because in the highway traffic the speed of the other vehicles will be very high. So, need to be see that how best your this kind of vehicle will travel from the travel under the such kind of traffic. And also because the length of the, you see here the length is very large. So, and somewhere you will require U-turns. So, that also need to be see that whether such kind of vehicle U-turning is very difficult, okay, or it could be possible, it will take lot of time also, and also it will also create problem for the other vehicle traffics. So, that design also has to be see that vehicle capacity must be such that the allowable weight limit are not exceeded. This is also one very important issue, especially for the India or developing countries, where need to know that how much maximum waste could be possible to hauled by the vehicle. We should not go for more than that. That weight limit also need to be know that. And the method used for unloading must be simple and dependable. This was I was talking about whether you can go for the stationary kind of vehicle or haul kind of vehicle or special kind of vehicle, and why? Because your unloading must be very simple and dependable. It should not be that the unloading is very difficult at the disposal site, because at the disposal site or landfill site or recycling facility, I think we won't get lot of manpowers to unloading the waste. So, this should be a dependable by the vehicles itself and should be very simple. So, like these kind of vehicles also can be used. This specially for the design for the easy or simple unloading facility. Now, this is another way of collection or another transport mean could be possible, that railroad. So, they were commonly used in the past, especially in the European countries or especially in the US. The waste have used to be hauled by the railroads in the past, and this is also possible. Suppose somewhere sometimes if you are finding the disposal site in the very remote area, so it is possible that maybe remote area could be suppose 200 kilometer, 300 kilometer, and there no road road transport is not possible in such area there, and suppose the railroad is available. So, by railway also we can haul the entire waste to the disposal facility. So, you see here some of the photograph. So, this is also possible disposal of such kind of waste. So, maybe in the railroad I will not propose that to haul the biological waste, but at least the dry waste can be easily hauled into the by the railway operation could be possible. So, here you can see here the waste has been transported by the rail or railway. This is another mean could be possible, that ocean going vehicles. So, obviously, here these also water transport also could be possible, that some of the country like Hong Kong or Singapore, where I think nearby finding the landfill site is very difficult, and earlier in the past also many countries they used to dispose the waste into the ocean. Now, I think is not permissible or is a prohibited to dispose the waste into the ocean. In that case also, suppose from one location to another location in the same country is possible to travel by the water. So, that is also, or from the sea also could be beneficial. If the cost is very low for the water transport, we can use the water transport also. You can see here the waste is collected through water transport. So, this is another one issue, that for water transport they used to transport the waste from the location to the sub-site or ocean disposal site, which I was talking about. Now, is a no longer common practice. This is one barge was in the Thames river in London. It is very well known river, Thames river, where the waste used to be collected from the water transport. So, this was the one point, that it is difficult to use barge or boat during the high sea. That was the one important issue in the water transport, Even in the river water transportation also sometimes will be very difficult if there is a lot of rainfall. So, in that case it will be very difficult. Now, another few more different means we can collect the waste or we can transport the waste could be hydraulic system or pneumatic system could be possible. So, this is specially for the different kind of vehicles we can use, and this could be possible by especially for the road transports only hydraulic system. And the special idea about hydraulic system, how best we can load the waste and how best or simple way or easy way we can unload the waste from the vehicle. So, when the body is full, the truck is driven to transfer station or landfill to unload and repeat the process. So, this was the hydraulic system could be used for the specially for the unloading of waste to the disposal site or recycling facility. So, this is another vehicle. So, in this case I think there is no manpower, only one driver itself is able to collect the waste and transport the waste into the disposal site. This is another one more photograph, you can see that is a special hydraulic system. So, waste is getting collected and from this the waste is getting loaded onto the vehicle from the front to the rear areas. This is another kind of semi trailer using hydraulic pump for waste transportation in Italy. So, I will show you another one more photograph, like here the pneumatic system of transportation. So, in this pneumatic system I think there will be a pipes inside the earth, and though with the pipes the waste is getting transported. So, is a pneumatic one by maintaining the proper vacuum waste is getting transported. Like here the largest pneumatic system in the Disney World in Florida. So, if suppose if you are visiting anywhere Disney World, maybe in the Florida or in the Hong Kong, you will never see no dustbins available in the entire area. This there is a lot of area is covered by the Disney World, but there you can find the pneumatic system. So, I think you can dispose the waste into the small dustbins, and these dustbins by pneumatic system the waste is collected at or transported to the one particular location for the recycling and disposal facility. So, you can see here this is the one of the news, and this is what this is the vehicle by pneumatic system. This is the dustbin where waste is getting collected. So, pneumatic trucks are specialized vehicle with flexible pneumatic tubes, control and positioned by attached cranes or brooms. The engines of this truck can be used to generate a suction force that applies negative pressure to the mouth of the tube. So, because of that waste is getting collected into the vehicle. Now, the transfer station design requirement. So, before going for the location, this is one very important issue need to be discussed about while designing the transfer station, what are the different factors has to be required or has to be see that before finalizing the design. So, the first is the type of operation transfer operation to be used. So, this is also very important, I think is depend upon the goal or particular objective of the transfer station. It is possible that we are planning for designing of the storage load or direct load or is a mix of both. Transport operation also will be changed, the area requirement also will change. So, based on that we can design the type of operation will be required for the transfer stations. So, especially here that is the important point, keeping the adequate area for available for unloading of collection vehicle. Now, second is the storage and throughput capacity requirement. This is a very important one. Throughput capacity of the transportation should be such that the collection vehicle do not have to weigh too long to the unload. So, that is also need to be know, because lot of vehicles, number of vehicles will reach to the transfer station from the residential area or commercial area. So, it should not that number of the waiting time for the vehicle for unloading of waste into the transfer station should not be very high. So, that proper capacity of the transfer station has to be provided. Again the proper area should be available, and even the storage capacity also has to be look upon to see that the entire waste could be unload into the transfer station. Storage capacity requirement should be evaluated carefully. The storage capacity which I was talking about, for not to wait the vehicle for the longer period, and trade off analysis should be made between the capacity of transfer station and the cost of the transport operation. This is also one important point. If there could be a trade could be possible in the transfer station. So, that also we can see that based on that we can design the capacity of the transfer station and what will be the cost of transport operation. Based on that we can design. Another point, that is equipment and accessory requirement. So, obviously is again depend upon the what kind of objective of the transfer station, whether is a direct load or is a storage load or combination of both. So, in a direct load transfer station, usually rubber tire ring are required to push the waste into the transfer vehicle. Another ring is usually required to equalize the load in the transfer vehicle. So, obviously the different kind of equipments and accessories will be required. So, in a pit storage transfer station, this was the first one was the direct load transfer station, second was the second kind of that storage load transfer station. One or more tractors are required to break up the waste and push them into the loading hopper. That kind of facility will be required or accessory will be required, and also the additional equipment to distribute and equalize the load is also required, because again that has to be equalized with the different operation or different larger vehicle availability. An overhead clamshell crane is found to be successful for the both the purpose, that is specially for the distribute and equalize the load into the storage area. Scale should be provided at all medium and large size transfer station for monitoring the operation, and also charge based on weight when used by the public. So, this was the different idea. This normally in India we will not use, but at least the scaling should be possible that, and facilities for equipment maintenance should be provided. So, maintenance facility also should be available. Next is the environmental requirement. So, obviously enclosed facility should have air handling equipment that create negative pressure within the facility. So, the idea of this one, this should be create the negative pressure within the facility. So, there will not be any odor will come out from the transfer station. It is possible that we are locating the transfer station very close to the residential area. So, always the odor will be the major issue. Obviously, that entire transfer station will be covered up. So, from outside we will not see that whether waste is getting stored or getting hauled from that particular location, but because of different operation it is possible that the odor will come out from the transfer station, and because that you will get lot of complaints from the local residential area. So, obviously such kind of facility should be available onto the transfer station, and also the construction should be fireproof is also very important, because we are seeing that in the transfer station lot of dry matters also will come up, and is a highly combustible matters. So, fireproof facilities also will be required. Now, another very important consideration or requirement is a sanitation requirement. So, for maintaining proper sanitation, spilled solid waste should be picked up immediately or should not be allowed to accumulate more than 1 or 2 hours and should be washed down. So, this is one thought to maintain the proper sanitation. So, there should not be any spilling of waste in the different location, that should not be possible, and wherever the waste is getting spilled off, that or wherever the waste is getting accumulated, that has to be hauled or that has to be cleaned within 1 to 2 hours, otherwise the odor issue will come up, or and time to time the proper cleaning also required into the transfer stations. And because the cleaning will be required, so it is possible that the transfer station operation for 6 hour operation could be possible in a day or 8 hour operation, and once the entire operation will get over, obviously cleaning will be required. So, because of that cleaning of transfer station, wastewater also will be also produced, that cleaned water. So, if it is possible that the small wastewater treatment plant also has to be designed, or whatever the wastewater will get generated, that has to be again put it into the sewage, along with the, we can mix with the sewage, and will be treated at sewage treatment facility. So, that is what is being discharged into the local sewer. Okay. Health and safety. Now, the sanitation requirement, that is for the location for entire transfer station. Now, here health and safety for the workers or manpowers are working in the transfer station. There should not be a scope of dust inhalation by providing the mask to all the worker. This is also very important, because a lot of PM production is possible, particulate matter could be possible to produce during the operation. So, but I think that those data are not available, that PM10 or PM2.5, but it is possible that some kind of dust will get produced during the entire operation. So, the mask should be provided. Overhead water spray should be used to keep the dust down the storage area of the storage load transfer station. So, obviously, this facility also, if it is possible to have water spray to keep the dust down, that kind of facility also could be possible to have. So, in storage load operation, tractors in the pit area should have enclosed cabs equipped with air condition and dust filtering units. I do not think so in India such kind of things could be possible, but I think whatever vehicle could be possible, once they are unloading the waste into the storage hopper or storage pit, I think need to be see that there should not be lot of dust, should not be get produced into this operation, and the public should not be allowed to discharge waste directly into the pit at larger storage load transfer station. So, these local public or nearby residential people should not be allowed into the transfer station, because unnecessary health issue will come up. Now, the important discussion, that is the location of transfer station. So, this will discuss now. So, the location, there are few points I have noted here before finalizing or siting of transfer station. First point is the as near as possible to the weighted center of the individual solid waste production area served. So, this has to be see that because your primary collection should not be very costly, that should be also economically. So, to make economical, you have to find the transfer station location as near as possible to the waste generation area, and also this was one point, and this should be easily accessed to the highway routes, accessible. So, finding such kind of location is somewhat difficult, because should be very close to the residential area also, and easily reachable to the highways, because the larger vehicle will be used. So, it should be close to the highways, so that the larger vehicle can easily transport the waste, or waste could be hauled to the disposal site, and there will be a minimum public and environmental objection. I think here is the very important one. There will be always public objection, but I think is again depend upon the how best we can operate the waste. So, I already proposed that we should have the third type of transfer station, where combination of a direct load and storage load. So, the here, because already we are segregating the waste at the generation area or household area or commercial area. So, the wet waste will go to the direct load. So, there will not be any storage of the wet waste. So, there will not be any odor issue, or there will not be any kind of biological degradation of that kind of waste. Only the dry waste will go to the storage load facility. So, that can put it into the storage pit, and whatever the recycler matter or some kind of operation we can plan there, and after that, that waste will also get hauled to the disposal facility in different vehicles. So, if you are planning that, so obviously the public objections will be very less, and especially the environmental objection, because we are not touching, or nobody is directly touching to the biological waste. So, because it is under the direct load. So, I think even environmental objections also will not come up, because there is no storage. So, there will not be any leachate production, there will not be any odor production will not be possible in such cases. So, because of that, I think we will not get much objection for the transfer station, and where the construction and operation will be economical. So, I think other factors we can easily do, but I think these are the important factors, where public objections and how best and easy operation we can do onto the transfer station. Now, under Swachh Bharat mission, I think many cities have started the transfer station, but problem is that if you are planning for transfer stations, you need to have proper vehicles in the both the cases, for the primary collection also, and for the secondary collection, that the larger vehicle that is also required, and especially for the small cities like in the district levels or class 2 towns, I think they are not directly connected with the highways, or highways are there, the traffic issues are huge. So, in that case, I think having special kind of vehicle is very important in such cases. So, when you are planning for transfer station, you need to be ready for the proper primary collection and proper secondary collection. Now, if you are planning for transfer station without having any recycling or recycling facility, I think that will not be that economical, because to make the economical transfer station also need to be see that how best we can recycle the recyclable matters. So, I think there are a lot of issue has to be discussed before planning for transfer station. Okay. And site selection based on the transportation cost, that is the important one. So, transfer station should be located to minimize the transportation cost, and site selection based on the operation constraint, like in situation where 2 or more transfer station and disposal site are to be used, the optimal location of waste from the each transfer station to each disposal site need to be evaluated. Okay. So, on this same point we will discuss like if you have the 2 or more transfer station and we have different kind of disposal facility or recycling facility. So, the proper analysis has to be do to find the optimum allocation from the transfer station to the disposal site. that will go with the one example. So, assume that the determination should be made of the amount of solid waste that should be hauled to the each of 3 disposal site from each of 3 transfer stations. So, that the total haul cost will be minimum possible values. So, this is the one example is given. So, we have 3 transfer station, that is T1, T2 and T3, and we have 3 disposal site D1, D2 and D3. Now, is connected because we have to see that. So, from first transfer station T1 to the first disposal site, that cost could be X11, and from T1 to another disposal site, that is D2, that is X12. So, this is X11, X12, and from third disposal site X13. Similar way from the transfer station T2 and from transfer station T3. Now, we have to see that the optimum allocation has to be finalized. So, before finalizing the optimum allocation, we have to assume few points, like the first point is the total amount of waste hauled to the disposal site must be equal to the amount of waste delivered to the transfer station. This is the important assumption. Okay. So, whatever amount of waste is delivered at transfer station, that the same amount should be hauled to the disposal site. And second is the specified amount of waste can be accepted in at all 3 disposal site. Okay. A specified amount of waste means whatever the storage facility is available or whatever the space available in the transfer station, that much amount of waste could be accepted at the transfer station and from that disposal site. And third point, the amount of waste hauled from each transfer station is equal to or greater than 0. This is also one important assumption, because whatever the amount of is hauling from the transfer station is equal to or greater than 0. Okay. So, means I think there will not be any negative value. Negative value means I think the waste will come from the disposal site to the transfer station, that should not be possible. Next is the allocation problem is set up below symbiotically. So, I think that is what I shared this. Let the transfer station be designated by I transfer station and disposal site designated by J. So, here Xij is the amount of waste hauled from the transfer station I to the disposal site J, that nominated or designated by Xij. Similar way, the cost Cij, that is the cost of hauling waste from the transfer station I to disposal site J, that Cij, and Ri, that is the total amount of waste delivered to transfer station I, that is Ri, and Dj, that is the total amount of waste that can be accepted at disposal site J, okay, that is Dj, and Ri is the amount of waste delivered to the transfer station I. So, now here if the total haul cost are to be minimized, then the objective function defined as the sum of the following terms must be minimized subject to the problem constraint. So, the objective functions will be, so this x11 multiplied by c11 plus x12 to c12, where x11 is the, now in this case x11 is the amount of waste hauled from the transfer station 1 and disposal site 1, okay, that is x11, and c11 is the cost of hauling waste from the transfer station 1 to the disposal site 1. So, based on that, this will be the objective function, and mathematically we can represent this objective function sum of xij 2 multiplied by cij, okay, and where I is 1 to 3 and j 1 to 3. This subject to the following constraint, okay, this objective function. The first constraint is amount of waste hauled to the disposal site must be equal to the amount brought to the disposal site. So, this is the first constraint, the amount brought to the transfer station equal to the waste hauled to the disposal site. That we can mathematically we can write sum of x I j is equal to r I, okay, where j is 1 to 3, where I is 1 to 3. Similar way, another constraint could be possible that the total amount of waste hauled from the transfer station must be equal or less than the capacity of the disposal site. This is also very important constraint, has to be fine, where that we can mathematically we can write x I j, where j is 1 to 3 should be less than or equal to d j, that is d j is the amount of waste hauled to the disposal site, where j is 1 to 3. And third constraint, the amount of waste hauled from the transfer station must be equal to or greater than 0. That was one of the assumption while finalizing the solution of this problem, and that we can write x I j always greater than or equal to 0. So, now I think we have 3 different constraint has to be solved. So, there are different way, there are number of solution could be possible to get exact result. Most of the method required the aid of microcomputers. So, there will be a lot of solutions could be come up by finalizing the 3 different constraints. Based on that we can finalize the entire operation, and there are also many approximate solution methods available whose result can be close to the 10% also is accepted to the optimum. So, that they can be used for the most practical application in the waste management field. So, I think there could be a lot of solutions could be possible, and suppose those solutions will come up very close, maybe 10% to the optimum also, that is also acceptable based on the whatever applications could be possible in the waste management areas. So, based on that 3 different constraints we can finalize which particular transportation will go to the which particular disposal site. Based on that we can finalize by having the solution of 3 different constraints. Now, there are few considerations for setting up a transfer station. This is based on the CPHO manual. CPHO is a Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering operation. This manual, I think few considerations are given. This is Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering organization. For that one manual is available, and this manual says that if disposal site is greater than 10 kilometer away, see is very simplified. If the disposal site is greater than 10 kilometer away from the city boundary and the smaller vehicle are used for the transportation of waste, it may be economical to set up a transfer station. See, in the all 2 lectures I was talking about distance of 20 kilometer, 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers or 100 kilometers, but what this manual suggested, if disposal site is greater than 10 kilometers and smaller vehicles are used for the primary collection, so it is possible to set up a transfer station in the economical way. Another point is large size containers like 15 to 20 meter cube can be kept at transfer station to receive waste from the small vehicle. A ramp facility may be provided. The simple ramp facility may be provided for the unloading of smaller vehicle or dumper placer container directly into the large container at transfer station. This is the simple, the first kind of transfer station like direct load. So, in the direct load we have seen that one ramp will be available, then the smaller vehicle, even the dumper vehicles will be onto this ramp, directly the large container could be unloaded. These vehicles will be unloaded into the large vehicle, and this large container could be possible like 15 to 20 meter cube size also we can take. And next point is construction of complicated and expensive transport station must be avoided. So, this is also one point is mentioned that I think should not be complicated, means I think I was proposing that recycling facility could be possible at transfer station, I think the manual says that that will be a complicated one, because when you are planning for recycling facility, that could be expensive also. So, but I think wherever is possible we can plan such kind of facility, and the requirement of large containers or vehicle may be estimated on the basis of the total quantity of waste expected to be brought to the transfer station and the number of trips the vehicle must be able to make in 2 shifts each day. So, I think this was one just a suggestion, but I think is again depend upon the your primary collection operation, primary services operation, how much amount of waste could be possible to come to the transfer station, and what kind of large containers could be utilized at the transfer station. Okay. So, this was the discussion on to the transfer station. So, thank you.